What's going on, folks? I'm AutoMattock. So we're going to talk about the Bay Area Sunrise throw in a little bit more detail about how good the knockdown is itself, what precisely your options are, that sort of thing. So to get started, there is a difference between the normal and the EX. We're going to go over the normal first. And so it's a 30 frame knockdown. Your dash is 25 frames, so that leaves you at +5 as you dash at your opponent. So at +5, you have options such as standing light kick, which is a 6 frame normal. So this will beat 3 frame attack. So if they're mashing a 3 frame normal and you do Bay Area Sunrise, dash a standing light kick, that will hit them because you're at a +5 state. You're leaving them a 1 frame window, so it's punishing them by 2 frames, right? Something like that. Just to give you an example, so you got the regular Bay Area Sunrise. You dash up standing short, and then you try to multitask while making a YouTube video, and you drop the combo. So you dash up and standing short. Oh my god, get the dash. It's very easy. Just dash up and standing short. There we go. And then you can confirm into crouching short, and then light punch, Abigail punch. Yeah, and you can also do EX Abigail punch, but not really. If you don't have your opponent in the corner, there's no real reason to do EX Abigail punch because it'll still combo doing the light one. It'll do a little bit more damage, but you don't really get the Okizemi off of the back recovery off the Abigail punch. Anyways, even the EX. But if they're in the corner, sure, why not? This is the EX non-mashed Abigail punch. Might be one of his best knockdowns, most consistent. To get back on track, so that's standing short. Now, if your opponent gets up and then they block that standing short, I want to show you what you can do. You should be able to set them up for a tick throw, right? So we're going to have them, they are sometimes want this exact same spacing. So from right here, what strength can we do? Even the roundhouse Abigail throw will be in range. So that means I can do a whole sequence here. I can dash up standing short and then EX Abigail throw and then do whatever it is that I want to do from there. Back fierce is probably the best thing to do while you're mid-range, to be honest. So now you have confirm, you have a block, you have a meaty standing short that you can confirm into a low, or you can go into a low and then confirm into the EX Abigail punch, or you can go into a tick grab. Now, the tricky thing about this, actually let me wrap up with that standing short, because if your opponent doesn't get up off the ground, you want to know what to do after that as well. And I believe you do dash up. Dash up standing medium punch. Wow. my notes. Can't read them. So, in the case that your opponent does not recover off the ground, you can dash up standing medium punch, and then that will hit them meaty, and you'll be able to confirm into back hard punch or standing short. So I'm going to demonstrate that real quick. So you do standing short, your opponent stays on the ground. By the time that you have dashed up and it's standing short, you can notice that they haven't gotten off the ground. So you won't go into low short, or you won't go into this if you see them already on the ground. So with that in mind, you dash up and standing short, dash up again, standing medium punch. If that counter hits, you can go into another medium punch. By itself, you can confirm into a back fierce, which is one of his better knockdowns in the middle. If you're not in the corner, this is good because it keeps you in range with their back recovery. Or you can go into standing short, and standing short you can link into EX Abigail punch if you need to. But in my opinion, the best thing to do here is standing medium punch and back fierce. So far, that's how I feel. Unless you do something crazy like go into the EX giant swing, like low short giant swing, that kind of thing. So there's probably some room to do that too. I think if standing medium punch, no, crouching medium kick is too slow too. So yeah, we won't get into that. But yeah, dash up, standing medium punch. That's the thing you can do if you're standing short. It now turns into a frame kill. It's a meaty for the normal recovery, but if they don't recover, now it's like as if you're using it as a frame kill. You dash up and standing medium punch, and that's just one of the things you can do. You can also do medium punch giant flip, and that's not really that. I mean, it's okay. It'll give you some chip damage, and it gives you some frame advantage. But the other thing it's important to know about the Bay Area Sunrise throw, if you command grab them immediately, well, yeah, we'll go over that situation too. If you command grab them immediately, you will not throw them because they are still throw invulnerable. There's 2 frames of throw invulnerability. So, like I mentioned before, you are +5 when you dash up. The command grab is 6 frames of startup. So there's only a 1 frame window. So you're actually throwing them when they're invulnerable for those 2 frames. So you have to delay it by 2 or 3 frames to actually throw them and still be able to meet their standing jab. So it's kind of tricky to do this, right? Because You can mistime it and they can mash. I mean, you would think that you can discourage your opponent from mashing, but I mean, come on. Come on. Everyone's going to mash. Everybody. So, you can't always depend on that. So, if you're depending on your timing, it's going to be a little bit tricky because you're literally trying to time it within 1 to 2 frames. You're delaying it by 1 to 2 frames just so you get that +3 and +4 state rather than +5. +5 is too much. And just to hold that thought, just to wrap it up, if your opponent does not normal recover, if they don't normal recover here, they can punish you. They can punish you if you try to command grab them. So you do have to react to them actually getting up off the ground and delay it by 1 to 2 frames just to use the command grab. And you can also use normal throw as well, but that one you would have to delay 2 to 3 frames. But yeah, those are all good options. And just to demonstrate a more reading heavy, if your opponent backdashes. Now the backdash will not avoid the standing short. I should demonstrate that as well. So the backdash will not avoid the standing short. So you can see my opponent is backdashing. It will not save them from the standing short because there's only a 1 frame window. I think it's 2 or 3. The window it needs to be if they backdash. I think it's somewhere around there. But 1 frame, absolutely not. They can't get away. Same applies for jumping away. So that standing short is going to hit them there. But if you feel strongly that your opponent will backdash, and you feel like maybe this is something that's going to close out the round rather than this, right? Maybe this isn't enough damage for you, and you want to really punish that backdash. You can do Crouching Fierce. And that'll push counter the backdash. It's there. And then the problem is if they just jump backwards and then you do Crouching Fierce into Hard Punch Giant Flip, that's not gonna. Let me just demonstrate because I'm not sure. I don't want to be wrong here. I feel like I've seen this enough times. So if they jump away, the Crouching Fierce will hit them, right? But if I do Hard Punch Giant Flip, that will not. And then I think it looks like I won't have advantage. So I would have to substitute it for something that would cover both options, right? Or maybe I would just do Light Punch Giant Flip. And that wouldn't really give me that much damage. But if you're going to do a hard read for that kind of thing, for like the backdash, and it's something that's gonna kill them or stun them, then absolutely, it can be worth it. Alternatively, you could do Crouching Fierce into the run, EX Nitro Charge. And then examine if you've crush counted them or if they blocked. And then you can just confirm. I'll just show you. Just show it. So here's the... Oh, that was weird. So I do Crouching Fierce, EX Nitro Charge, and then I confirm that they're in a crush counter state, and then I go on to that. Now, if they block, I mean, I guess that's kind of the crazy person nowadays, right? The crazy person blocks. If they just sit there, and they don't backdash, then I can do something like this. Now that, you'll come to find, is not exactly legit to do. But it's there. It's kind of okay. The truth is, if your opponent jumps forward during this sequence, there's nothing that nothing more. You have to do back fierce. Now back fierce will do pretty well, and we'll talk about that later. But I think that wraps it up. You can also do standing jab, but I believe standing short is better after the Bay Area Sunrise throw. So EX Bay Area Sunrise. In terms of the advantage, you're actually 1 frame less. So the regular one, you're +5. Now, this is a 29 frame knockdown against normal recovery. So when you dash up, now you're +4. Yeah, math. Now you're +4. Now you would think maybe that since I have less advantage that it's a worse knockdown. But it's not true. In my opinion, it's not true. Because now I don't have to time my command grab to beat a 3 frame normal if they're doing it as a reversal. I just have to time my dash. I don't have to delay anything manually. Everything is given to me because of the way the input buffering works in this game. So, it's very easy for me to just dash up and command grab them if they normal recover off of the EX Bay Area Sunrise. If I dash up and command grab, it doesn't really take that much timing. I don't have to wait 1 frame and potentially get jabbed out. So, in this way, I think this throw does do more damage, but it also gives you a better knockdown, even though it's 1 frame less in my opinion. But that also means that now when you do this standing short, it's not going to work the same. I think now they can backdash out of it. Let's find out. If I do the EX and do standing short, I think they can backdash out of it. Oh no, they cannot. Right? Not bad. So that's good too. Now, what I want to demonstrate though is that you can also use your crouching short. Now, crouching short is typically +3 on hit. But in this scenario, since you're +4, it's a 4 frame startup move, it's going to hit on the second active frame, so it's going to increase the advantages by 1. So then, instead of being +3, I'll be +4, which means I can link 2 crouching light kicks, right? I normally can't do this. Normally, you cannot link 2 crouching light kicks, but if it hits on the second active frame and it increases its frame advantage, you can do that. So you can do that from here. You do 2 crouching shorts and they'll link into each other, as long as you don't mess it up like I'm doing. Right? There we go. 2 hits, and off of that second hit, you can go into light punch, Abigail punch. If you're a crazy person, you can go into the giant flip. That'll do more damage, give you a better knockdown, but they can potentially punish you between the hits of the giant flip. So yeah, so you can substitute that standing short for a crouching short that hits on the second active frame and also hits them low, so they can't just walk backwards maybe, that kind of thing. Standing short still does more damage, and you can also do crouching short into the command grab just the same, because it's going to give you more block stun than it normally would. I think it's normally +2. That should make it +3 on block. So if they try to jab you in between us and they're blocking in that scenario, they cannot. So just everything applies in the same way. The difference is if you're using crouching short for the frame kill, in this scenario, I would suggest using the medium punch giant flip, I think it is. So your opponent doesn't get off of the ground. Let me see if I can demonstrate this. Your opponent does not get off the ground after an EX giant flip. You do crouching short to medium, they don't get off the ground. You do medium punch giant flip, and you should be able. This should be a frame trap. Let me test that to be sure. So we're gonna do a 3-frame reversal. Now normally off of a medium punch giant flip, I can't do this, right? But it's hitting. Oh, I guess I'm just out of range, and I grabbed them anyways. So I guess I don't need to test that, huh? This is only +1. It's a 6-frame command grab. There's a 5-frame window, but I'm out of range of burst. I'm out of range. She can't actually jab me. So there's that. So yeah, just to demonstrate what it actually looks like, I do this, I dash up crouching short, they don't get up off the ground, and that hits meaty, and then, you know, there. Now that would be a better demonstration, because my crouching short would not win there. It would trade otherwise. But yeah, so you can see a counter hit there. So I have more frame advantage than I normally would if I do crouching short, and then do a medium punch giant flip. Are there any alternatives? Forward hard punch. Okay, so now instead of that, I could do crouching short, and then frame kill with forward hard punch. Forward hard punch will put me back into that +4 state where my command grab is meaty, my crouching short will hit on the second active frame, so I'm putting myself in the same situation twice. If they don't get up, this resets that situation, and I can do standing short, and if they wake up with something, it's going to hit them on second active frame, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's another thing you can do there. Forward hard punch after this crouching short whiffs. And you can't confuse the two. If I do a normal one, and then I do crouching short, it's not going to work the same because the knockdowns aren't the same. That will actually still be meaty, but it's not going to hit in the second active frame, and I'm not going to be +4. I'm going to be ±1. I don't know. I think that about wraps it up. I think the EX command grab, the same thing applies. If they backdash, you can do crouching hard punch. Now this is the big thing. I'm going to make another video about this, but back hard punch is also meaty for both knockdowns. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like, and this will be it for now. You can do boom boom. They need to be normal recovering. Now this works for both knockdowns. 7-frame move, and that's you're still in range for both of these moves for normal and EX. So we're gonna have Laura do her 3-frame. That was EX. She's gonna wake up with it. We're gonna do the normal first. This one has more advantage again, +5. Back here's a 7, so that's definitely gonna work. And EX. This is also 4, but 7 from 4 is 3, which is still, it out prioritizes the jab. So yeah, that back fierce punch. We'll talk about that later. But for now. Oh, shucks. I wrote down the outro somewhere. That was part of the whole reason I was between slides with this video. Hold on. Here we go. That's it for now. Thanks for stopping by. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you learned something. I'm AutoMattock. That was better. I didn't mind that. That was good.